Hello, hello, and welcome to day number 3. You guys have been with me for the last 2 days, and we are here for day number 3. So, day number three's topic is guard your strength. Okay, now, ladies, you can apply this to your life too, but we're still talking to the men right now. Okay, so don't let distraction drain your destiny. Let's go ahead and read Proverbs 31 3. So it says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. Now, why is this important? This is important because what we don't see here is a mother cutting corners with him. She telling him straight, listen, listen, baby boy. Listen, baby boy. So let's look at what does it mean when she says, do not give thy strength, right? So strength is riches, power, wealth, forces. It also says here in the Blue Letter Bible translation, Hayel or Kael, right? Which means man of valor. In other words, men, don't give your valor to these women. Stop letting these women suck you dry, bro. Literally. Okay. You have to be so purposeful with who you are choosing to walk with, even in friendship, who you are choosing to call your woman. And I know there's a lot of 304s around here. So it's very, very, very hard to see the type of woman that you should have, especially if you didn't grow up with that type of woman that you should have, that can call out the king in you, that also will support you as you are also supporting her, okay? Because we submit ourselves one to another. Give not your strength to these women. Don't give the best of your life to these women, okay? And so it says, nor thy ways. In other words, so your journey, your manners, your road, your path, because the word ways means darik in Hebrew, okay? And it means way, road, distance, journey, manner, direction, course of life, moral character. Stop giving the best of you to all kinds of women. And the women she talking about here, okay, are harlots. Okay. They call them 304s now, but they're harlots. They are strange women. Proverbs talks all about the different kind of women. These are quarrelsome women. These are brawling women, women that don't know how to control their tongues, women that will cut your dreads off while you're sleeping, knowing how much you love your hair. These women are dangerous. You want to steer very clear away from these kind of women because these women, if they will do something as seemingly simple as cutting your dreads off or cut your locks, I'm sorry, cutting your locks off or shaving your head bald while you're resting in a spiritual state like rest is, that's a dangerous woman, brother. You might want to leave immediately. Immediately. Because what she's saying is she has no regard for you. Even if it is a prank, even if it is, y'all joke around all the time, there's certain boundaries and certain limits that you do not cross. And I'm here to tell you, brother, that's not a woman to play with. These are the women that she is talking about here. King Lemuel's mother is talking about the women that will destroy you because it says to nor the ways to that which destroyeth kings, which means you are a king, bro. You're a king. He's a king, sis. But he's given his ways to these kinds of women because they might be baddies. They might have big old butts and flat tummies, and they might dress good, and they might have their face beat all the time, and they may be freaked out. But the truth of the matter is, these women are sent from the enemy to destroy kings. They come to destroy kings. Now, let's look at what the word destroyeth here means. It means maha. Maha. Okay, yeah, I'm saying it right. It means to wipe away. It means to destroy. It means to blot out. It means to marrow, abolish, obliterate, exterminate. So I'm here to tell you, men, Just because she's a bunny doesn't mean that she's for you. Because when stuff get funny, you want to make sure that you with the right one. Okay. If you picking up what I'm putting down, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. We see older generations of men getting their whole lives thrown in the trash, destroyed. The enemy will wait. I said this in a previous post that the enemy plays the long game. And that's our problem. We get off of our post. We stop being who God has called us to be. We relax our standards. We get comfortable with just where we are. And then the enemy comes in. He isolates, separates, and then he separates, then he isolates, and then he infiltrates. And when the enemy infiltrates your camp, just expect it to be destroyed and to be overthrown, to be overtaken. You have an enemy in your camp, and it's in your mind. The camp is your mind. The battlefield is in your mind. And this is why you have to shift your mind. This is why you have to renew your mind daily. I'm not trying to preach at you, but I'm trying to preach at you because I need you all to know how powerful the mind is. I heard a woman of God say, if you can think it up in your mind, then you can have it in your world. If you can find it in the Bible, then you can have it in your world, which means good or bad. Okay? Don't let distraction drain your destiny. Y'all gotta come out of your penises. Okay? Ladies, we gotta come out of our vaginas. And I'm saying it frank like this because we have to stop sugarcoating stuff. People are out here losing their lives, losing their minds because of sex. We have to come out of our sexual organs and come into the minds of Christ. The mind of Christ. And you can only do that when you get into your Bible. When you get into the word and you know what it says about you so that you can stop being tricked by the enemy and distracted in your destiny. So let's go on. So day 2, we talked about identity and accountability, right? And so today our focus is all about what's quietly stealing your strength. Okay, because it's not just a woman issue. Men can come along and steal your strength too. Okay, that's why I said, ladies, apply it where it applies. You could be on your stuff, girl. You could be doing your thing. You could be that girl, right? And then you find this dude comes along and you stop being that girl. And then you stop dressing up like you used to. Baby, when I was in high school, I used to bum it Monday through Thursday, but Fridays, I popped out. I popped out. Every Friday, I popped out. You can ask my classmates. I popped out. I was wearing heels. I was wearing a dress. I did that for me. I didn't do that to be seen by anybody. Not to mention, Fridays, we didn't have as much work. So, I worked a full-time job from the time I was 14 years old. So I didn't go many places. And so I was like, listen, I was either at school, church, or work. I ain't doing no recreational nothing. So I was like, you know what? Every Friday, I'm wearing heels and I'm wearing a dress. I'm coming cute. Put my little makeup on. I'm going to do the thing. Always kept my nails done. And that's what I did for me. But then I would get into these relationships with people that was sucking my destiny dry. Some people would come along to help you, and some people would come along to humble you. You need to know the difference. One is from God, the other one is from the enemy. And so when the enemy wants to destroy you, he begins to separate you from your identity, your standards, your ways of living, your journey. He will separate you. Then he will isolate you from the people that help you stay on that journey, whether it be separation from God, whether it be separate or isolation from God, right? Because we isolate ourselves in our own bodies through what we allow in our atmospheres. What I'm trying to say. We can isolate by getting on our phones and scrolling on social media for 30 minutes to 3 hours, but can't even open our Bibles and stay awake for 10 minutes. So we're isolating ourselves from God. Not that God is doing it. We've left him. And I'm here to remind you today that God is calling you up higher, but it starts in here. You have to set your mind on things above, like the Bible tells us. Set your mind on things above. If you're thinking about what that man doing, he ain't called you back, sis, you're too available. Bro, you're too available. If that girl is not texting you back, but you see her posting all over social, you're too available. Because you shouldn't be able, you should be so like consumed with the things of God and purpose and everything else that the other person that wants to be with you or wants to have your attention has to come into purpose to find you. They have to come up into purpose to even be able to keep up with you. But we bring ourselves down. And so, point number one is your strength is a resource, not a reward. You only have so much time, energy, and years behind you. Where you put it determines your fruit. Where you put your efforts, your energy determines your fruit. So a lot of us don't have commitment issues. A lot of us have well, let me back up. No one has a commitment issue. It's just what you're committed to that makes a difference. I heard a man of God say this, Pastor Kevin Nella Ewan. He said, "You guys are disciplined, all right, and you're committed, all right, but you're committed and disciplined in your poverty, committed and disciplined in being lowly in a negative way, because we should be humble, right? But we should not be so low that we speak bad about ourselves, saying things like, 'Girl, you so dumb.' Why would you say that to yourself and then get upset when somebody else say it to you? Baby, they've learned it from you. You have formatted what they should do around you. So I'm here to remind you, real talk, not every relationship, habit, or hustle deserves your focus. You got to recalibrate. You got to bring your mind into subjection. Okay? Second Corinthians. You have to take every thought captive. And let me pull that up because that's a powerful verse that we really need right now. Take every thought captive. Okay? Second Corinthians 10:5. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. And that's a different version. Let me read it in the KJV version. The KJV version says, oh, it's not coming up. Yeah, hold on. Bear with me. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. But if you are not taking them captive, if you're not doing what you're doing now, sitting here watching this video, reading your word, journaling, praying, fasting, those things take captive the thought. When you're not stopping and saying, listen, I have the mind of Christ. He shall keep me in perfect peace. Him that is fixed on me. There's a woman of God, Tiffany Montgomery. She's doing a clapback challenge. We allow the enemy to speak so many things to us, and we just sit there and take it. And then we wonder why our life is starting to align with what the enemy has been saying to us. Because we ain't clap back and say, no, my child don't have dyslexia. I need to spend more time with him. I need to spend more time with her. No, my son isn't autistic or doesn't have eczema. Though eczema might be the reality, change his diet. See how things change. Okay? And this is coming from somebody that has had eczema, who has been diagnosed with psoriasis, something that they say old people get. But I got diagnosed with it at 17 years old. How? Lost all of my hair, had thick cradle cap, and by the grace of God, y'all see my roots done grew out. But by the grace of God, he restored me. Because I took it captive. I said, there's no way I can live life this way. I'm like, Lord, there has to be another way. When they diagnosed me with 3 types of depression and they said I would be on medication for the rest of my life to regulate myself, I said, no, I don't accept that. Now, I'm not trying to be like the saints. I believe in counseling. I believe in therapy, because you need another voice that can speak something into your destiny and say, hey, though this is where you are, this is not who you are. Though this is what you're experiencing, this is not who you are. But there are alternatives to medication. So they gave me Xanax at the time, right? And so I said, Lord, you're gonna have to help me with something else because I'm not trying to take this. I knew the side effects would damage my daughter, and I was still nursing her. And so I said, Lord, you're gonna have to help me. And this is where I found out how impactful our physical health, our spiritual health, and our mental health is on us as a person. Okay. So, point number two, there are things that destroy kings. And if you're queen watching this, queens, quietly, quietly. So, distraction doesn't always look dangerous, it often looks desirable. Excuse me. Oh, this is a man of God, and he's so fine. Oh my God, she pray and she fast. That's what's up. And yeah, and she, she cool. She cool people. hmm Yeah, sounds good till it's not. You need to ask God where this person come from and what they here for. What you come here for? You can't be afraid to say, what are you here for? I remember doing that to a group of people and I was like, so what is this? What is this? I'm trying to figure out why y'all trying to be around me like that. Why are we trying to connect at this time? Because I'm a very purposeful and intentional person. Okay. And so some modern examples of the quiet destiny destroying looks like people pleasing, burnout, emotional entanglement, overcommitting. Does that sound like you? Because I know it sounded like me, baby. And I took a kick myself in the foot. I was like, Lord, why I keep setting myself up for failure and getting upset when people are taking advantage of your insecurities, of my past insecurities. Thank you, Jesus, that He has healed those insecurities. But it wasn't until I began to renew my mind that I could get wholeness, not just healing, because a lot of people get healing and they just start to cope. But you get wholeness and it's like it never happened. The trauma, the abuse is like it never happened. So, point number three is protecting your purpose takes bold boundaries. Okay. Bold boundaries. You can't be around here like, you can come over, but you got so much work to get done. You know, these people are going to stifle your time and then they're going to leave you and you ain't got your projects finished. And now your deadlines are here and you sitting here burning the midnight oil. Now your head hurt because you didn't let these people come over instead of saying, listen, somebody knocking my door and I don't have the time for it. With the exception of a few people, I'm not answering my door. Stop answering your door for Jehovah's Witnesses. Gay. I had this one set of people, they stood out there and would not leave. I looked them dead in their eyes to let them know that I see you and I'm going back into my room because distraction only comes when you're being in purpose, on purpose. You ever notice when you ain't doing nothing, especially us parents, when we ain't doing nothing, our children don't need nothing. But the moment we want to get up and exercise, we want to get up and do something productive. Mommy, I need this. You got a million questions right now? Right now, a million questions. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Sounds great. Thanks. But give me a moment to give you permission to put some bold boundaries in place because you're going to need them. The Bible tells us to guard our hearts, for out of it flows the issues of life. Let's go pull that up. Proverbs 4:23 through 25. First of all, don't nobody want to read the NIV all the time. Y'all can give us, okay, thank you. Um, Go with me to Proverbs 4:23. It says, watch over your heart. This is the amplified version. Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. Now let's go back to KJV because I like the way KJV says it too. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. In other words, you guys, the issues of life comes from our heart. In your heart posture, there's a such thing as people dying because of a broken heart. Because your heart carries and it stores and it remembers. This is also why God said, let me in. I come and I knock at the door. Where do you think he's knocking at the door of? Your heart, not your physical door, even though I've had that happen. Somebody physically knocked on my door. I was like, hey, what's going on here? Um, but we have to guard our heart, which is also guarding our strength. Because let me tell you something, emotional entanglement, getting upset, getting angry, allowing people close enough to hurt you, those are some of the biggest tactics of the enemy to wipe you out. So give not your strength to it, okay? So purpose driven people have to make hard decisions. If you want to be purposeful, powerful, passionate, fulfilling, living a fulfilling life, you have to make hard decisions. Whether or not you're going to go, whether or not you're going to um, show up to the event, or whether or not you're going to stay up late and burn the midnight oil. You have to make hard decisions. And sometimes guarding your strength means saying no to good things to protect the best things, to protect the God things. You have to say no. No is a complete sentence. Don't feel like you have to say no because, baby, let me tell you something. I found myself doing that one time and the Holy Spirit checked me. He said, why you about to explain to this person? You don't got no covenant with them, as in marital covenant with them. You got a covenant with me first. You might have a relationship with them and you might even have covenant friends. However, that covenant does not trump my covenant. Stop telling them why you're not doing something. And I'm talking about just standard people. And if you feel the need to, obviously not for married folks, okay, you need to communicate with your spouse why or why not you're doing something. Okay. All right. But you get what I'm saying. No is a complete sentence. So to wrap this up, I want you to reflect on where your energy is going, where it's leaking. I also have, let's see if I have it here. I also have a zero-based budget sheet. Oop, you can't see it, but that's okay. I have a zero-based budget sheet that I provide all of my coaching clients. It has activities like sleep, daily devotional, exercise, shower, breakfast, work, includes commute and lunch, family time, date night, TV, if you watch TV, or you can put social media there, church, weekly small group, reading, so on and so forth. Okay, and then we have extra rows. You should, in your 24 hours a day, you should have zero because you've been intentional about your time. Every hour should be accounted for. And so, what I teach my coaching clients is how do I reclaim my time? How do I position myself in such a way to where I'm still being able to show up for people in the world without neglecting myself? So, I want you to reflect on where your energy leaks. And then I want to challenge you and ask you, what will you stop giving your strength to today? What will you stop giving your strength to whenever you're watching this? And so, if you're not on my email list, get on my email list so that you can get the outline for the day for um, the journal prompts, because we're doing a challenge with this. Like, you actually have to put this stuff into action. Okay. So continue to check your emails for those that are on the email list and share your insight via social media at Ashley M. Sturgis everywhere. And then I want to um, tell you a little bit about what tomorrow is about. So day 4 is all about mastery in the mundane. Proverbs 31:4. It's going to be so good. You don't want to miss it. So I am super excited for you and what God is getting ready to call you all to. I want you all to be encouraged. Encouraged. You have to be in it. Okay. In it. I'm sorry. But you have to be in it so that God can continue to flow through you. So day three reminds us that not everything that looks good, everything that glitter ain't gold. Okay. All right. So be purposeful, be intentional, shift your mind, shift your focus on the things above, and you will begin to live a life that you truly love. Bar. This has been my pleasure to be here with you all. This is Ashley Sturgis, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. I love you with the love of the Lord, and I pray that God takes you further than you've ever been. And if you would like to work with me on a coaching basis, please feel free to reach out to the link that's in the description. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Bye.